Leukemia versus lymphoma, brought to you by Medicine Isn't Scary. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we'll be tackling questions that confused me a long time back I was a student. And I'll hope to use this video to allow you to have a better understanding of this, okay? So the topic for today is what is the actual difference between leukemia and lymphoma. If you've ever mixed these two concepts up, you are not alone. They were both blood cancers, and their names sound similar, and it can be confusing. But by the end of this video, you are going to know the key differences that makes all its click. Let's get into it. Firstly, you can imagine that your bone marrow is a central water treatment plant, or is a water treatment factory. It's where all your blood cells, which including the red blood cell, white blood cells, were made. They're basically pumped out into the pipes, into different part of your body. Okay? So after the factory make it goes being pumped into different parts of your body. And scattered around the city is what we call as the lymph node. You can imagine that they are like the train stations of your immune cells. They are the checkpoints where their immune cells gather to coordinate the fight against the infection. So, with this city in mind, here's the simplest way to remember different. Leukemia is a problem with the factory and its water supply system, while lymphoma is the problem of the train station. So let's break it down. Leukemia, because you can remember, right? It's about the water pipes. So it's actually about a liquid cancer. It starts with the bone marrow, which is the water plant. The bone marrow starts producing cancerous immature cells called blasts. So one is the myeloid cell, and the second thing that it produces is lymphocytic cells or lymphoblasts. Got it? So here, for the myeloid cell, it's actually the precursor cell for RBC, WBC, and neutrophil, and also platelets. Okay? So for the lymphoblast, it's actually the precursor cell of the T cell and the B cell. Got it? Okay, so basically, because there is some problem inside the factory of the water plant, so that you can imagine that the myeloid cell that it produces or the lymphoid cell that it produces has some problem. Okay, just remember this will be fine because we will break down into the details of it in the later videos. Okay, so it's a liquid cancer. It starts in the bone marrow, and it's producing cancerous and immature myeloid cell or lymphoblast. Okay, so because of the production, it eventually leads to crowding out the healthy cell. So you can imagine that inside our body, the healthy platelet level will go down, the healthy level of the red blood cell will go down, the healthy white blood cell go down, and the healthy neutrophil go down. And what will happen? You can imagine that when there is a low platelet level, you can imagine that the person will be more prone to bleeding, bruising more easily. And that is what we call as the thrombocytopenia. Then if we have less red blood cell, what does it mean? It means that one person may have anemia and they'll be feeling fatigue more easily. Okay? And what happens if the patient has less white blood cell? It would be more prone to infection, because I can imagine that for the dysfunctioning and immature red blood cell, they are not able to fight as good as they used to be, right? They're not functioning, right? So you'll be more neutropenic. And when you have low ANC level, low neutrophil level, so similar situation as a red blood cell, you'll be more prone to infection. Okay? So this is the basic idea of leukemia as a liquid cancer happening in the bone marrow. Okay, understand. And then let's go to lymphoma. So for lymphoma, on the other hand, it is a solid tumor cancer. It starts in the lymph node. So you can imagine it as the train station here, or the lymphoid tissue. In lymphoma, a type of white blood cell called the lymphocyte becomes cancerous and starts multiplying uncontrollably within the lymph node. So what happened? It leads the lymph node to swell, to form a lump or a tumor. So while leukemia is a toxin spread throughout the water supply, lymphoma is like a riot that starts when one specific train station, causing it to swell and blockage. So the most common sign is painless, swollen lymph node in the neck, armpit, or groin. So let's summarize. The differences between leukemia and lymphoma is actually down to two things, which is where it starts, how it behaves. So for leukemia, always remember it starts in the bone marrow and blood. And blood here we actually means the peripheral blood. Okay, you can usually check it there. And then for the lymphoma, it's usually within the lymph node. And for the nature, lymphoma, it is a liquid tumor. And for lymphoma, it's actually a solid tumor. So it's very important that you need to know leukemia and lymphoma can overlap. Advanced lymphoma can spread all the way into the bone marrow, and leukemia cell can sometimes cause swollen nodes. But remember, the original point is the key to distinction. So yeah, there you have it. Leukemia is a liquid cancer of a bone marrow and blood. Lymphoma is a solid tumor cancer of lymph node. If this clear explanation helped you, do me a huge favor to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that makes complex health topics simple. So let me know in the comments which cancer would you like me to explain next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.